forbidden. But we were thinking that bags were considered plastic, but it was not the case, because after investigation, we discovered that it was bags containing medicine, illegal importation of medicine.
The different persons involved in this shady deal were arrested and detained. Senior Divisional Officer for FACO narrates on how this incident played out.
So when I was informed, I had to go to the field. I decided to go to the field with some members of my time as well. I also informed the State Council. We went there and realized that it was effective, and we finally carried all those bags and brought them to the prefecture to exactly know what was inside. We finally count the number of bags that were in that seizure, and the total bags were 127 bags containing drugs.
Recommending the police department in Limbe for this great job, the divisional administrator gave these police officers a thumbs up and reiterates on the need for the fight against hard drugs consumption by young people in this part of the nation.
It was carried by one trucks belonging to the government. It was disseminated inside that trucks. And the investigation had been opened. We decided to forward that cargaison to Boya. Because the investigation, when there's a seizure like that one, you should not use it. You should not continue to authorize the using of that product. So this is what has been done. Following the instruction from the Arab, we decided to send it to the
This successful mission sends a warning signal to the dealers in this illicit trade, as the radars of the security officials are all on.
Rita Mafani Mujoko reporting there. We now move on to one of our lead stories. As we did mention earlier, the Swiss mining giant Glencore has promised to make known the names of Cameroonian authorities who were implicated in the corruption scandal where the said company gave $10.6 million to officials from the National Hydrocarbon Company (SMH) and the National Refinery Company (Sonora). These, as Glencore has been implicated in corruption scandal in countries like Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, South Sudan, and Equatorial Guinea. This comes up in a special court session that will be taking place in London as from the 10th of September 2024 in Westminster, to be precise. Details in the upcoming reports.
The Swiss mining giant Glencore, who was implicated in a corruption scandal in Africa, Asia, and South America, is still making rounds in most Cameroonian discussion as the British court in Westminster has scheduled the court hearing for Tuesday, 10th of September 2024, where names of Cameroonian officials implicated in the oil and gas sector is expected to be made known. With $10.6 million paid as bribe in order to access preferential treatment in Cameroon, some persons are quite worried. The money that was paid to actors in the National Hydrocarbon Company (SNH) and the National Refinery Company (Sonora), the company proceeded in conducting her corrupt initiative to Cote d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, Nigeria, and South Sudan. Glencore officials admitted to 7 charges of corruption in a UK court hearing, as they insisted the $10.6 million was transferred from Nigeria in a private jet to Cameroon to bribe high state functionaries in the nation. In total, she paid $310 million.
This is the largest criminal penalty ever handed down after conviction. This is also the largest confiscation. And this is the first time that a corporate has been prosecuted under Section 1 of the UK bribery. That essentially means that they weren't just guilty of failing to prevent bribery, if you will, but actively authorizing bribery.
Glencore and her lawyers apologize for this misconduct of theirs. Worth mentioning is that this case is not just the last of Glencore's legal problems, as she has set aside $1.5 billion to settle a series of legal issues, including a $1.2 billion case in the United States of America.
Over to Tiko, a locality in the southwest region where community stakeholders has been encouraged to work in total close collaboration with council officials of Tiko Council. These follow a meeting that was held over the weekend in Tiko on the behest of the office of the Southwest Public Independent Conciliator headed by Telele Doroti Motaze, who encouraged the local population to engage in this civic responsibility as it is for their benefit. Alice Likelengwekome attended that ceremony and now comes back with this report.
Ever since the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator was created, the OPIC boss and her staff have always been on their feet. This time around, the OPIC office is in Tiko for a town hall meeting with community stakeholders. The meeting brought about councillors and the grassroots population with focus on how the population works with the council and how the council should treat the population.
I have embarked on a sensitization drive to go down to the grassroots to meet the different population, those who use the council services quite often, like the market vendors, the taxi drivers, the bike riders, and shop owners, and everybody in the municipality. So I came down to have this town hall meeting to tell them myself what we are doing and what they are supposed to do to ensure that they live in harmony in the municipality.
The event was held under the theme, Office of the Public Independent Conciliator, pursuing engagement with community stakeholders of Tiko municipality to enhance effective service delivery to users.
A very long period of time we have been operating anyhow. I will use the word anyhow because we were not operating within the jurisdiction of the law. And I'm sure having this meeting today, it has come as an eye-opener to inform the population of Tiko of their obligations, of what they are supposed to do and what the council is supposed to do for them, because it's a two-way thing. What the council is supposed to do for the population and what the population is supposed to do for the council.
Different areas in the municipality, and if they were invited in this meeting, is to let them know that the areas they represent, they are like the eye and ear and supposed to bring the grievances or the challenges or the difficulties of those areas. So when councillors come to a meeting of this magnitude and they decide to begin to make it as if it's some childish play, I had to be hard on them, because even if you are young, once you have voted to a certain position, it shows that you must be responsible and act in a matured way. They were not acting in a matured way, so I had to draw the attention to that.
The participants were happy to learn about the OPIC office and being enlightened on certain issues.
Sometimes you have a problem, you don't actually know where to run to. You know, many people from the grassroots, we always knew that the mayor is like the final say. But today, I am made to believe that there is another authority that can bring the mayor to order. I think that's a consolation for us, even as traders in Tiko.
Today I not done here before. My first day for hear about this OPIC. So to I don't gather from here today, I will help now go sensitize the public, especially the Okada people where they constitute a majority of this Tiko municipality.
Awareness has been created and it is now left for the population to make use of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator and not die in ignorance.
Moving forward to Nigeria, after Nigerian President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu live televised broadcast to the State of the Nation address yesterday, Sunday, the 4th of August 2024. Nigerian protesters are now on the streets of Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Kano, Kaduna, and other towns and cities to protest against the bad governance that is unfolding under the watch of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the hardship prevailing in the most populous black nation in the world. Today entered day 5 of the protests as protesters were met with a heavy deployment of forces of law and order. More on that with this story.
Since the eruption of the nationwide protests all across Nigeria that started last Thursday, 1st August 2024, the people of Nigeria are calling for the end of bad governance from the Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu's led administration. On day 4 of the protest, Tinubu addressed the nation on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. via a live broadcast.
Understand the pain and the frustration that drive this protest, and I want to assure you that our government is committed to listening and addressing the concerns of our citizens. But we must not let violence and destruction tear our nation apart. Let nobody misinform and miseducate you about your country or tell you that your government does not care about you.
The nation address by Tinubu didn't yield much fruit as a vast majority of the protesters took to the streets.
Stop further bloodshed, violence and destruction. Our government will not stand idly by and allow a few with a clear political agenda to tear this nation apart. Under the circumstances, I hereby enjoin protesters and the organizers to suspend any further protest and create room for dialogue.
The protests in certain parts of Nigeria, like the country's second largest city of Kano, has recorded enormous violence and looting from some ill-intentioned persons who use the opportunity to burn properties.
At the heart of the protests currently in Nigeria is the economic hardship that Nigerians have been facing since this government came to power. And I must say that when this government came in May 29, there were lots of hopes. There were high hopes that given what the current president did in Lagos, he will be able to replicate that at the national level. But it appears that hope has been dashed. The economic recovery does not seem to be in sight. And there were economic policies that this government have embarked upon, like the removal of subsidies, floating the naira, which is Nigeria's currency, higher electricity bills that have eaten very deep into the pockets of Nigeria.
The center stage of this protest is economic hardship, high cost of living, bad governance, and lots more.
Protest lead to violence, protest lead to social unrest, protest lead to starvation, protest lead to arson, protest lead to life lost, and protest is a seed that breeds internal war.
With the economic meltdown in Nigeria and most precise the high cost of living that is looming all around, most Nigerians say they are angry towards the flamboyant lifestyle of many government functionaries as they protested.
To our viewers in Cameroon and around the world, you are watching High Prime. We now move on to our sports dossier for tonight. We start off with the two representatives from the Northwest and Southwest region who are representing the Anglophone regions in the ongoing national Interpol competition. They have now recorded successive defeats after they failed to secure a win over their counterparts over there, as the match that saw the match for the two saw a 2-0 defeat that was that took part that was witnessed by Boya United, who were defeated by their opponent over there. We have details on the story with Ngoni Solita.
Representing the Southwest region at the ongoing national Interpools, Boya United, who was exempted for match day 1, started the race with a 2-0 defeat against Krimi FC, who lost her place. The Mountain Boys of Boya United, who didn't have coach Agbo Emmanuel on the touchline, due to license issue, will have to reinforce themselves against Atlantic Sport, who is the group leader of Pool B with 6 points after 2 games played. If the Southwest side needs to have hopes of coming back into the game, then match day 3 upcoming should be a must-win game. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Northwest flag bearers, Option Sport of Bamenda, who lost her first game against Union Sportive of Abombang, could only pick up 1 point from Botafogo FC on match day 2 after a 1-1 tie at the Oza Stadium. 2 games played, the side stands at the 4th position with just 1 point. Her next game will see her rub shoulders with Sant. It should be reminded that the competition that started on August 1st will end on the 24th of August in Yaoundé.
And still in the world of sports, we move on to this other sports story. After being crowned champions of the 2023-2024 football season, Victoria United of Limbe has intensified training ahead of the CAF competition, the Pan-African Interclub competition that will be taking place in no distant time. The champions of Cameroon have to play several friendlies with some other African clubs in order to keep fit and make sure that they are in total reconnaissance when it comes to the CAF Interclub competition. More again with our sports reporter.
Have been crowned champions of the 2023-2024 season. Victoria United has been one way or the other struggling to come back, especially by working on the weaknesses that transpired during the season. I mind you that especially when they are going to be logging horns in terms of the CAF championship that will be coming up in the month of August, about the 18th. So it tells you that Victoria United has been having a couple of friendly games, especially for the regional level sides where they have equally played with Elect Sport, Best Stars, and Boya City, and a host of others. And it was time for them to go internationally, where they equally picked up on the side of from Equatorial Guinea. That is the FC 15 Agosto, where it was, shall I say, a bad day for them here at the Ngemomi Sports Stadium, where they were defeated 4-1. And to tell you that despite this defeat for today, in terms of their first international friendly game, to them it's a good game rather than a negative one, like how we all should be perceiving it, because according to them, it's a test for them to equally work on some of the weaknesses that they have identified and make sure that as August 18 is soon approaching at the Bipanda Omi Sports Stadium, they will definitely be correcting some of these mistakes that they have identified.
Mais je pense que nous sommes encore dans l'état de préparation. Ça nous a permis d'évaluer aujourd'hui avec l'équipe qui est chargée de l'équipe quelles sont les insuffisances et que nous avons remarqué que nous avons corrigé. Mais il y a vraiment beaucoup de motifs de satisfaction. Nous avons voulu insister beaucoup sur l'intensité qu'ils sont capables de mettre dans le jeu. En deuxième temps, on avait beaucoup d'intensité. Mais je pense qu'on a un problème de manque de maturité, surtout au niveau de cette sur le comportement, sur les aspects tactiques de consigne. Donc c'est des aspects qu'on va corriger à l'entraînement. In
the days ahead, they will be struggling and looking at other possible measures to be able to keep themselves sophisticated before August 18, where it is going to be the first international game that they are going to be disputing for the African Championship. And equally to tell you that just as we were anticipating of seeing the Victoria United who were much champions for the regional level, right up to the elite level, and now it is going to be an international level. Our fingers are crossed to see what this Southwest household team is going to deliver for us in terms of the report card for the international level. And mind you that cement tax that they are going to be logging horns with, it's not any kind of a team. When we talk about the statistics, the top number one with about 43 games played, winning about 21, losing just 11, and drawing about 4 in terms of Smith's statistics. Imagine that this is an opponent that, talking about Ghanaian side, this is an opponent that you take nothing away from them, because it is going to be a game that many will narrate even after many years.
Moving on to the Northwest region, still in the light of sport, a non-profit organization based in Bamenda known as the Anye Foundation, in collaboration with some local stakeholders, have decided to organize a football memorial tournament in honor of the late mayor of Bello Council, Angong Innocent, who was killed by Anglophone separatists over there in the Northwest region. They opines this is in a way to remember the venerated mayor for all the good deeds that he stood for, especially sports and the young person's welfare in the Northwest region and Bello Council, to be precise. Rita Mafani Mojoko completes that story for us.
The Anye Foundation in the Northwest region, in collaboration with the different stakeholders in the locality, are launching the late Mayongong Innocent Football Tournament in order to promote social cohesion and living together.
We started with the Badu football tournament, and then we went to the computer football tournament. And when I mentioned about the Badu football tournament, the pioneer sponsor or fund of this particular project was late Dr. Ngong Innocent, who came to us and said he wants to bring the youth together. And having in mind that maybe he had such an initiative to gather the youth together, it was just normal for us to actually pay homage by reorganizing or rebaptizing the particular competition under his homage. And to be told, we would have really loved that he should be with us here, because he has always wished to see how maybe he can scout youths that are having talent within our various communities, so that he can try as much as possible to bring the exposure of these various talents.
The late mayor, who was gunned down by separatists, geared towards ensuring the local population embraces peace in order to enhance development.
The first aspect which I want to say is about solidarity, unity, peace building and social cohesion. Those are some of the facets that he has always been trying as much as possible to be promoting everywhere where he goes to. And that's why he even baptized Bello FC as Football for Peace. Understand, maybe through football we can actually bring people together. We can play football and we even forget about our enmities. We can spread across the spirit of tolerance, the spirit of forgiveness and the spirit of fair play.
With football being quite predominantly amongst the young people in the Northwest region, the football tournament is aimed towards the spirit of tolerance and fairness, as the youths remembered the late mayor Ngong Innocent in a special way.
Bello FC, he has done a lot for our community. I'm talking in the aspect of football. I'm talking in the aspect of football just because we have Bello FC, he has done a lot really for our community. Because many youths have left their communities and they are now playing at regional level or even at professional level.
What impact do you know this tournament will have on the community?
We are bringing our youth together, and by the end of this particular project, we are going to organize a all youth Bamenda conference where we are going to bring all youth together, so we can brainstorm about some of the plight that we are having among ourselves in order to always be together.
As this football tournament runs through, potential talents will be scouted for subsequent trainings in order to nurture their talents for them to shine in the global stage.
Rita Mafani Mojoko reporting there all the way from Bamenda. And with that story from the Northwest region of Cameroon, this is where we conclude tonight's news package, High Prime of Monday, the 5th of August 2024. Thanks for watching and good night.